It's Debatable with Mark Gray here on MLBBro.com.
It's Debatable, the All-Star Week edition, boys and girls. I am the MLB OG, Mark Gray. That is Manny Ramirez Brown, our soon-to-be Hall of Fame designated podcaster. You know, I did a piece, back in the day, Black American baseball players were really the stars of the All-Star Game, even if they didn't win the award. So when you look back throughout your 35 years, a good 25 of them having been a baseball fan, what's your favorite All-Star Game couple of moments?
Man, I have three specifically that I'll go through them quickly, man. But obviously 1999, the All-Century team, just that collection of royalty, obviously MLB bros, white players, Hispanic I mean, just the collection of the greatest of the greats for an entire century of baseball. It was just unbelievable, man. It caught me right at the time. I was already in love with baseball, but you know, when you're like 13, 14, that's when you really like, everything is just baseball, right? So the all-century team in 99, you know, Ted Williams with the cart down into the field, all the players gathering around them, all the festivities, Griffey winning the home run derby for a third time. It was just amazing, man. It was just phenomenal for me to remember what I felt like watching that night in Boston. The second one for me was the 1994 All-Star Game. Fred McGriff ties it in the ninth. Tony Gwynn scores the winning run in the 10th, in the bottom of the 10th. The last All-Star Game in Three Rivers All-Star Game. That's like the first All-Star Game that I can remember like sitting down watching. I was 8 years old at the time. It was just all the stars of the game at that point. 94 season. I mean, you had Tony Gwynn possibly being able to hit 400. You had all black. I mean, Fred McGriff, Tony Gwynn, Frank Thomas, Ken Griffey, Barry Bonds. I mean, you just had the best of the best at that game, and that was an amazing moment that I remember. And then my last one would be the 2002 All-Star Game. Now, this one gets poorly remembered, obviously, for the tie and the bungling of the game itself by your boy Bud there. But
my man Bud Selig.
the moment that sticks out in my brain is Torrey Hunter making that incredible catch on Barry Bonds, and then Barry Bonds giving him the bear lift or whatever. That was just a funny moment. But again, two MLB bros, an amazing moment, and that was actually a really good, close, competitive game that just ended in a terrible way.
And they were good, but they were like appetizer kind of moments. I see you caught up in the sappy stuff like the gravy. Let me give you some mashed potatoes, my friend. I get the reverence, Ted Williams going up to Tony Gwynn or whatever and asking him, do you smell the bat when the ball comes off? I get all that, and I'm down with it. But let's go to what went down on the field, all right? Let's start in my favorite All-Star Game moment up until, I guess, like 1990 was 1979 out your way in the Kingdome. Dave Parker's named MVP. And as a sappy baseball fan like yourself, the year 1979 is the year that my beloved Orioles blew a 3-1 lead to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
To go there, huh?
And Dave Parker, thanks to a Willie Stargell home run that I'm still coming to grips with. Nonetheless, he threw out two players. I mean, it was the first time that I'd seen a defensive player dominate a baseball game in my life. I'm playing Little League, high school baseball at the time, the whole bit. And I'm looking at Dave Parker lose a ball in the freaking Kingdome ceiling, go back, pick it up, fire from the bullpen in right field, and clip Jim Rice of the Boston Red Sox at third base. I'm like, game over. I'll never see anything better. Only till around like the 7th or 8th inning, you get Brian Downing, who's a catcher. Now, you just seen what he did throwing the guy the baseball to third base, and you gonna try to score from home. He gets him, the late, great Gary Carter tags him at the plate. Best two defensive plays I ever seen in All-Star history. And then there's Bo. I mean, come on, man. Yeah. You lead off the game, your only All-Star game with a jack. and your MVP. I mean, to me, those are my favorite moments, but it does speak to the impact of what kind of black baseball players we saw growing up.
Yep.
And I'm just wondering, are there a few looking at this year's draft who may follow in their footsteps? That's
Absolutely.
Man Ram. I'm the MLB OG, Mark Gray. Thanks for hanging out with us. That's Debatable for this week. Come back now next time, and we'll continue to give it to you straight, no chaser. Deuces.
MLBBro.com, covering black and brown major leaguers.